Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cheyenne and today I'm going to be telling you about my experience solo traveling to Guatemala. This is my first time doing this, and the reason why I want to start making these videos for conversational English is because I really love watching YouTube videos, various YouTube channels of conversational Spanish. It really helps my Spanish a lot, but it's gonna take me some practice to speak clearly and speak slowly. I'm not used to it, so we'll try our best. Anyway, I have done multiple solo trips around the world. I have gone to England, to Scotland, to Aruba, to Guatemala, and then next year I'll be doing another one. Guatemala was probably my most favorite trip ever. Guatemala tiene mi corazón. Sí. Like, I miss it. I miss it a lot, and I can't wait to go back. And I also can't wait to experience and see more of Central and South America. I'm planning a trip, like a 3-month long trip. I'll explain more later, but about a few months ago, I booked my trip to Guatemala. I saw a girl's TikTok. I was just watching TikToks, and I saw the girl go to Guatemala, go to a Spanish school, stay there for a few weeks, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that because I really want to learn Spanish. I contacted San Pedro Spanish School, which is where I stayed in San Pedro. It's in Atitlan, Guatemala, and booked my trip. They said, cool. I stayed with a family. When I got there, I stayed with a family, and they were so sweet. I missed them a lot. The family's house was like a 5-minute walk from the school, so every day in the morning we would have breakfast together, and there were other students there with me. We would have breakfast, probably like 4 of us, like 4 students, and then like the mom in the homestay, and we'd have breakfast at 7:30 a.m. And then I would go to my school, and I met my teacher, and after about a few days, like, we became friends because we are really close in age. We're like the same age. She's 22, I'm 23, and I feel really grateful that I had her as a teacher because she brought me so many experiences that I don't think a lot of students got. We went horseback riding up a volcano, like half of a volcano. We went to like 3 hours away. I got to witness a funeral. Which I felt really honored to just be there and be a part of it, because that is a cultural experience. You know what I mean? That your tourist eyes probably don't get to see very often. And I was in a town where there's probably never any tourists, like once in a while. And I got to meet the family of her friend. When I was at the funeral, after the funeral, there was like people come back to the house, and there's a lot of people. It's an event that's outside, and there's like 3 ginormous pots outside, and there's like 7 of us women standing out there, and we're all kind of working together. There's rice, there's chicken, and like a stew, and so like, someone's getting the rice, and then you hand it to the next person getting the chicken, and this one, or it wasn't chicken, but it was some type of meat, and you hand it to the next woman who's getting the meat, and it's hot. She's taking it with her bare hands, no like gloves, nothing, and then someone's like scooping the stew. It felt good to be a part of something, to help do something. And like, also, I think the night before that, we helped in the house cook dinner for everyone. While at points I definitely felt overwhelmed, because it was like being in a new culture, this much language, okay, in a new country with no one that it could be overwhelming, and trying to understand what everyone's saying all the time. So my brain was a bit fried, and I had to take a few breaks. I had to go slow, but I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. Like, I just feel so grateful. I did a sunrise hike. I think it was called Rostro de Maya. It's Indian nose hike. because it looks like a man's face, like in the mountains, like laying down. And it was the most beautiful sunrise I have ever seen in my life. Off in the distance, you could see a volcano that had erupted, and it erupts like every day. But you could see the smoke coming off of it, which was beautiful. The hike itself, no. I hated it. It was only 40 minutes long, but I hated the entirety of it because I don't think my body was used to the altitude. I couldn't do it. My body said no. I was like the entire time, and I was in the front. I wasn't in the back. I was in the front. So I couldn't stop. I couldn't be like, no, because you have to keep going. But luckily at the top, they had hot chocolate, which was the best hot chocolate I've had in my life. And they had bread, pan, which was like sweet, un poco dulce. And it was just so good. And yeah, I got sick in Guatemala. I had a stomach bug. I didn't. Other one. Right, that's probably TMI, but I don't know what happened. I went out for dinner the night before and I drank a lot of horchata, and for some reason I think that's what it was. I don't know. And then I swam in the lake before that. I don't know. It was something, but I guess it's going to happen at least once, I think, when you're in Central or South America coming from North America. I met so many people that just mean a lot to me. Like, we're acquaintances, like we're not friends. And I have made friends too. Like, when I go back to Guatemala, there will be friends that I have that I can go visit. But just even those small interactions with people who are my acquaintances, I cherish them so much because they were so real, so raw. I felt so present. I learned so much about myself when I was there. I learned how to trust that everything's going to be okay. I learned how to be present and trust that everything's going to be okay. Because there were moments where I was faced with something that felt scary to me, to open up, like to be vulnerable, to let someone in. And I could have been really closed off to a certain experience, but I wasn't. And I opened up and I just let it be what it is. And it ended up being something really beautiful and something I didn't expect. And it taught me a lot. And so I learned that when I relinquish control, when I let go, when I don't try to control what my life looks like right now or how an interaction with someone is gonna go, then it ends up surprising me and it ends up being much better than I could have ever imagined, and I feel much better. Before I went to Guatemala, this is a story. So before I went to Guatemala, I was on a picnic with my mom, and I was looking in the grass for 4-leaf clovers. I was looking. There weren't any. And I've always wanted to find a 4-leaf clover. I told myself, I said, it's going to show up when it's ready. It's going to show up when it wants to. And I trusted that. So I stopped looking for 4-leaf clovers. I went on about my day and I didn't think about it. And then when I was in Guatemala, I was in the backyard of the house that I was in with the woman, like the host woman. And she was showing me her plants that she has. I remember looking down at one plant and there were clovers, like big clovers growing underneath. And there were like at least 2 4-leaf clovers down there. And I said, because I just wasn't thinking about it. And I remembered that time with my mom when I was looking, and here they are. And I told her, I said, in Estados Unidos, in the United States, these clovers at least this plant, if you see 4 leaves, it's really good luck. It means you're lucky. Yeah, so that reaffirmed the belief that things will happen when they're supposed to happen, and you just can trust the process. You can trust that it's going to happen, that everything's going to be okay. And it might not happen when you want it to or when you expect it to, but it will. In the future, in January, I am planning a trip to Colombia, to Medellin, Cartagena, and probably one of the coffee farms, like the smaller towns. I'm not one for a city. I'm not a city person. I like being with locals and seeing local perspective and seeing the ways of locals. But I also want to go to a Spanish school in Medellin. So I'm thinking about starting at Cartagena and then ending in Medellin so I can get a flight to Costa Rica, because I have family that live in Costa Rica. And so I'm going to stay with them. And then after that, I might go to Panama. I'm going to research that. My original plan was Costa Rica, and after that, go to Guatemala again. I feel like I'm missing one. No, yeah, that's right. Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala again. Go to Mexico City. I can't imagine a city where there are 22 million people living in there. I can't imagine it. I don't know. But I want to see Mexico City. And then when it hits March, I will go down to Brazil, because when I was in Guatemala, I met a Brazilian woman, and she told me the best time to go is in March, because in January and February, it's really expensive. And in March, perfect time. And then April, all the way for the rest of the year, is when people want to go, or people start going in April because school is out or whatever. After that, I don't know. We'll see. I would very much like to travel longer than 3 months, but for now, I think I'm going to plan 3 months, and we'll see how it goes. And I want to bring you guys along with me. I want to record my journey. I want to document my process, my life in South America, because in 20 years, I want to look back and I want to see now. So, and I think I will do a video on packing. You know, I have my suitcase there, so I'll do a video on packing, like the names of items, and I'm going to document my experience for you all to learn English, but also for me to have it documented when I'm older and I can look back at it. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching.